Yo, and what's up? Today we're gonna talk about some old school thrash metal, and the band is of course from United States of America, from New York City, called Anthrax. And here you have the latest DVD called Kings Among Scotland. Now, before we go into this actual release, I must say it's a little bit funny for a label such as Nuclear Blast that they have such a great lineup of bands, but their ways of release it's not always very consistent. For example, lately we got this Behemoth DVD, which were on the outside just golden, just beautiful release, booklet, nice details and all that stuff. But on the inside it was more like a recycled material to be recycled again. This time it's the opposite. The covers here with all the lack of information basically, not to mention inside. Well, this is kind of a cheap ass work if you ask me, but then again, inside is golden and that's what matters. So, labels work in mysterious ways. So, here we have, anyway, Kings Among Scotland from Anthrax. So this is the double DVD release, a live one that is. As you can see from the track list here, there are two sets basically. New and old material, Among the Living as full, and then some tracks which are both new and old. As you can see, there are some great tracks consisting of 2 hours of live music, but there's no mention about the bonus except for the very little information here, which is kind of just poorly executed. But let's take a look. So inside we have a compilation of images, which is kind of like very simple stuff. And here we have Anthrax lineup as well as other important people doing the tour here. If we take a more closer look at this one, well, this doesn't exactly tell anything else what isn't told here. I don't know if this is a kind of a mistake or just a cheap solution, but I would have actually liked if there was proper information like what's going on with the bonus material, even though they are just bonus. I think they are something that actually bring quite a bit of value for a live DVD releases. So here are the CDs, and that's it. So you basically just have to guess what's going on here. Here on the background it says something like 129 minutes for the DVD 1, which is the gig, so you can figure it out. More than 2 hours of live music, and then DVD 2 is 61 minutes, but that's it. So basically, so what's going on here? Well, I can tell you, there are two kind of a tour interviews, or actually parts of interviews here and there, which are not that like major information for anybody interested in Anthrax, but for a person who is interested in the band as a whole, not just music, who is going to likely buy this one, would probably like to know what's going on. And I think those 61 minutes are at least somewhat important and interesting stuff, even though it's just very casual talk, but I'm gonna go into details in a little bit. So what it also says here, this is region free, it's stereo sound, so there are no support for like 5.1 systems, 7.2 and whatever you might have at your home. For example, I have 5.1 speakers, even though my amplifier is a bit modern than that, but I haven't been yet got the time and money to install extra stuff. But these kind of releases don't exactly support that anyway. And this is DVD, which means the quality of picture isn't that great considering we live in the age of 4K Ultra HD. So this is pretty poor compared to that, but to be honest, it doesn't matter really so much. Blu-ray might be just a nice sweet spot for this kind of release, but it seems DVDs are still the #1 thing, and maybe it doesn't even matter most people. Just a little bit of nuisance maybe for hi-fi listeners, but I guess most people will just be okay, it's stereo sound and DVD quality. Now, since the quality of the DVD is what it is, we can go on with the line up on the songs and talk a little bit of the bonus material here. Now, I said there are two sets basically, and they are, just there as a one big package. So when you just insert the DVD in your player and give it a play, then you will get to enjoy the whole 2 hours and more in one go, which might be a little bit too much, but at least you don't have to switch DVDs in the middle or anything like that. So you can just enjoy more than 2 hours of Anthrax classic tracks in one go, which is great if you are a fan of the band, and if you aren't, this is not the type of release you are going to start your fandom with. I mean, it's just very unlikely you will get your hands on this one unless you're a fan. But for fans, this is a really nice package, even though the quality might be what it is. But just the track list, just Among the Living itself, and the quality of sound, and just the energetic performance on this album is something that makes this worth buying. Now, while the band has been, you know, on stages and, you know, doing music for more than 30 years, they are still very, very kind of youthful. That is to say, these guys play like there is no tomorrow. Everything from, you know, drums to guitars to bass to vocals is just, you know, good. Something that you might expect from a big band such as Anthrax, or for that matter Metallica, Iron Maiden, you know what I mean. And Anthrax is doing just great. I got to witness the band for the last time for like 3 years ago, and they were just, you know, killing it. And same goes here on stage as well. I mean, I got absolutely nothing to basically complain about the gigs, or the actual gig what they're doing here, because I mean, it's just enjoyable. I was, you know, basically there with my laptop on my lap, and, you know, just watching DVD there, and at some point I didn't have my machine there. I could, you know, notice I was kind of like doing this kind of moshing there, because those songs are killer. That is, if you understand anything anything about Anthrax. I mean, just to, you know, the riffs that Anthrax has there, and the good mood and the trashy feeling you get there. I mean, like, it's just so enjoyable. And like I said, the overall sound is very good. I mean, the guitar sound is strong enough, and it's totally like you can just figure out the details. It doesn't go mushy or bad at any point. Drum sounds great, cymbals, vocals, even the bass is, you know, backing up the whole thing. So, you know, great that it makes this one really easy to be enjoyed. However, there are nothing special as such happening on the stage. I mean, of course, it's like guys are going back and forth. Belladonna is quite energetic with his, you know, vocal parts and stuff like that. He even has this Indian chieftain headpiece at, you know, when they're having this, you know, song. And by the way, that is not something that people are nowadays getting hurt, you know, this cultural thing, like, you cannot do Indian stuff, if you're not Indian, you're offending the culture. Oh, I mean, come on. But anyhow, I mean, these kind of details are nice to have, but they are not like mandatory stuff, because it's not like this is a material you need to have your eyes glued to the screen, not to miss a, you know, a detail or anything. Basically, it's all about good mood, nice playing, nice atmosphere, a little bit of war dancing with the Indians track, and basically everything is just, you know, easy to enjoy. So great gig from Belfast. So I think people should be definitely watching this if they're Anthrax fans. Now, when it comes to the bonus materials, well, the minus sides first. There are no subtitles. There are not exactly very good quality when it comes to the small interview parts. And sometimes when the background noise is too much, and I mean in the interview, not at home, some of those parts are something that you barely make out of it, what they are actually talking, because it seems that the equipment used to record these mini interviews, well, was not that good. But that's not that's minor nuisance. It's basically something you watch once and then you can just forget it and get back to the live DVD part. Some of the interviews or interview parts are more interesting than others. For example, people who play instruments themselves might actually find nice details about guitars Scott Ian is playing, or ESP bass, you know, the bass player's doing and all that stuff. So those are kind of a details. Oh, so you're playing that Jackson Flying Wheel. Oh, you got like 5 of them when you went touring and all that stuff, and they're talking about strings and they're talking about, you know, pedals and, you know, whatever. So maybe it's a little bit of this kind of a instrument pornography for people who actually play instruments. I do play a little, but I still don't actually have opinion about whether these set of strings or that strings are better. So maybe I'm not exactly a target group here, but I know many people who enjoy metal might actually pick a detail about this and that, be it, you know, the drumsticks or some cymbals or, you know, drums or whatever, or the setup, which kind of tom-toms he's using and all that stuff. So I don't know, there's some nice details and some, you know, general, you know, talk like what these guys are doing when they are on tour. There's some nice details. I'm not gonna spoil you, I'm gonna let you enjoy if you get this live DVD. For me it was a nice thing to watch, because even though I'm not the world's biggest Anthrax fan, I still consider myself sort of a fan anyway. I mean, I've got many of their CDs, not all of them, but I mean, most anyway. I got Anthrax shirts. I've been, you know, seeing them live a couple of times. And, you know, one of my favorite thrash metal bands of all time. So for me, this kind of DVD is always nice to watch, even though I'm many times very skeptical that is this any good? Does it make any sense to release yet another DVD? I mean, I've gotten previous DVDs from Anthrax already, and will this bring anything new to that? But yeah, I enjoyed this. So even though the output, I mean, you know, the very basic DVD box and not that good quality when it comes to, you know, the image and stuff, still, Kings on Scotland is definitely worth buying for a Anthrax fan, so consider it as a gift if your friend is a Anthrax fan, or maybe for yourself if you are Anthrax fans. But those who just dislike Anthrax, this is not going to change that way of thinking. But anyhow, give it a go to the shop, order it online or whatever, and enjoy good thrash metal. This is all from Rauta. See you soon with more stuff to come your way. Bye!